let's talk BOHFS. And to do that, we are going to bring on some very special guests representing BOHFS tonight. We have owner and gaffer Alen Bradaric. And Alen, how are we doing tonight?
What's up, guys? No, doing great. Just finished coaching, actually. Hanging out at the new Sport 360 soccer facility. You might see us here this summer if you come out. But yeah,
And just for folks that may not be aware, that is the Muller Park facility, right?
yes, sir.
All
Used
right.
to be.
Yep, it used to be, but it's been taken over. And we've got a couple of your players with us here tonight. We have Brian Bement as well as Cole Gerstenberger. And Brian, how are we doing tonight?
Good, man. How you doing?
Pretty well. I'm glad to be over the city portion of our show, even though we are a St. Louis City podcast, because St. Louis City can be a little tough to talk about lately, but your game is a lot more positive. So, Cole, how are we doing tonight?
Is he on mute?
Cole, are you muted? I think Cole might be having some connection issues. We're not quite hearing him, but we have Alen and we have Brian here. So, of course, in case you don't know, BOHFS are going to be playing Union Omaha in the U.S. Open Cup coming up on Wednesday, March 18th. It'll be at Lindenwood University, the first amateur side for St. Louis to be in the Open Cup proper for some time. And clarify for me, Alen, were you on the last amateur club that made the Open Cup proper? Because I know you used to play for St. Louis Lions.
So, Mike Utley and myself, we were both on those teams where we played Minnesota Thunder of the USL back in the day.
Okay. How'd that go?
So, that was back in 2007, 2008.
Okay, so it's been a little while. It has definitely been a little while. So, Alen, we'll start with you. How are the vibes with the club, and how has preparations gone?
It's been, I mean, we've had our challenges like everyone else. We've had a few injuries, couple newborns, and then rotated close to 50 players in our last 6 friendly games. But the last 3 games have been a lot better. We've had most of our core players back, and I mean, it's the team looks so much different when we have those 13, 14 guys that have taken us here versus mixing it up. And if that's told me anything, that it said that we have to keep the original guys in, and if we're gonna add anyone, then only if somebody had to leave. So that's what happened. But I think our strength is that the guys are so close knit. I mean, they all hang out in between soccer. They play on their Veta leagues, the dueling stuff, and coach together. So we have a really good bond, and it's just really important to keep the same core together at all times. But yeah, but here we are.
Yep. And so, Brian, Cole, you guys can kind of talk about, your side of things, how preparations have gone, and how do you feel vibes are going? We'll start with Brian.
Yeah. I mean, I think our vibes are pretty high going into this. Obviously, we didn't really have a whole lot of expectations going into qualifying. So, I mean, we came in pretty open minded, just taking one game at a time, and I mean, we're kind of just taking that same path and riding it into the Open Cup. I mean, we've looked good the last few friendlies, and I think we're gonna kind of hit our stride in a time when they're first starting their USL season. I think this is a good time to match up with them.
Jake?
Hey, Alen, it's been a minute since I've seen you. Just
Woodland,
wanted to
right?
say, yeah, it's been since the Woodland friendly. I just
That
thought
wasn't
it
a
at,
friendly.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the Woodland match.
Qualifier.
But yeah, I just wanted to ask, how's the pizza coming along?
Man, we never got it. We waited till about midnight, and no, we waited till about 11 something, and we just ordered some pizza at the hotel. Had some pizza, had a few beers, and had a couple more beers, and called it a night. But we never got that pizza that was 15 minutes away when the game ended.
And I think one of the players brought an Xbox, right? So you guys were just, eating pizza and drinking beer and playing Xbox, right?
He brought it, but I don't think anybody played it unless
No.
he did.
Love that.
Yeah. Hey, some players brought their Xbox, but not their driver's license to be checked into the game.
Oh,
Yes. We won't name names to protect the innocent, but well, you already had a short bench that game. So that was one play. That was one player you couldn't play, and then you had another one where they thought he never registered for you, and that
Yep.
you kind of got a hard lesson on the how quirky Open Cup registration can be.
Yeah, and I mean, it was, I guess it was a good challenge for us because we didn't let it, like, we could have used all of those things as an excuse, but we're just like, hey, we've got 11, like, let's go out there and give it our best shot and see what they've got. And I mean, maybe having those two things happen right before kickoff kind of brought the guys in a little bit tighter. I think it worked out at the end.
Yeah, it's quite possible. Jeremy?
Yeah. So real quick, as a major fan of the U.S. Open Cup, and for those who might be tuning in that don't know what that is, it's the oldest running continental tournament in the United States. It's our version of the FA Cup. My question, and I'd like to hear this kind of from all three of you. Whoever goes first is up to you. What does it mean to not only yourself but to your club and to be representing the city of St. Louis in this way? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I'll start us off. I've been lucky enough to play in the Open Cup for a handful of other clubs. Actually got to play against St. Louis FC when I was with Forward Madison, the year that they made their big run in the Open Cup. So shout out to those guys. But yeah, they knocked us out in that. But no, I've been lucky enough to play in the Open Cup, but this one just hits so much different. Not only because I'm at home. I got my family and friends could watch us qualify. I'm gonna have, I don't know how much of my family and friends that are gonna be at our Open Cup game on March 18th. But yeah, it just means so much more, and especially because we had to earn our way in. In the past, any USL side, NASL side, you're in.
And Cole,
It just makes a bigger difference.
And Cole, this is going to be your first Open Cup experience. So how are you feeling going into it? Still having some connection issues with Cole, unfortunately. But Alen, I mean, I want to talk about just the well, it looks like we might have lost Alen as well. So he's back. He's back. Technical difficulties. You love to see it. But Alen, getting over to you. So. I want to talk about, first of all, just, your history, BOHFS and getting into the Midwest Premier League. And, last year was really your first taste of that level of soccer. But I want to jump ahead to Open Cup. What made you decide to enter BOHFS into the Open Cup? Was it the success that you had in the Midwest Premier League and that gave you the confidence? Or was this something you had in your back pocket for a while?
No, for me, it was, I mean, just looking at the core group of players, none of them are getting younger, and I just think that let's go play one more game. Let's see what happens. We've built this team together. We've all gotten to know each other really well over the summer. Everybody gets along. Let's just keep the ride going and see what happens. We had no expectations to. I mean, we had no, like, we didn't go in thinking like, okay, we're gonna go win these next 3-4 games. It was just, let's just go play. Let's see what happens. Let's do our best, and no matter what happens, let's be proud of each other and our efforts. And that's how we ended up where we are. But as for the U.S. Open Cup as well, honestly, I haven't thought about the history and representing St. Louis and any of those things that much. To me, it was mainly, some of my good friends on the team. I mean, Chad Bond, for example, he had to retire not on his terms. I've coached Eric and Jackson back in the JUCO, and we had a heartbreaking regional final loss. We experienced that together. I mean, several of those players, we're all tied together in one way or another, and it was just to have those guys get to experience this with all the added benefits. I mean, with CBS coming out, Paramount Plus, with having a game that's actually meaningful instead of just playing a rec tournament with friends and like, hey, yeah, we won, congrats. But like, this is actually a meaningful game. That just means a lot to me to be able to share it with everybody that's been part of it.
Well, and
Um,
and
so
Cole
yeah,
Gerstenberger has been a part of it, and you get to play in your first Open Cup match proper, Cole. So I think you got your technical issues resolved. How are you feeling going into next week?
Is my mic working now?
We
Yeah, I
got
hear
you.
you loud and
There
clear.
you go.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry about that. Feeling good. Like they said, we're kind of just playing on a lot of friendlies, trying to stay fit, but not risk any injuries at the same time. Um, really kind of proud to be able to represent St. Louis in some sort of fashion. Um, I think it's just awesome to also have the game in St. Louis. Just be able to, have a bunch of friends and family come out to watch. It's just a really cool experience. And like Alan was saying, in a game that actually means something and is not just a rec friendly like we were playing 3 years ago. To be able to have the team come together now and be able to play in actual meaningful games, even on like a national level, it's really cool, really fun. So.
No, and of course it's going to be of course Brian. You've played against pro teams before. Cole, this will be your first chance going up against an opponent probably like Union Omaha. So how you feeling about going up against a pro level team?
Good. I mean, to be honest, there's not too many levels between us and them. So I don't think we're
Yeah.
going into it thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to play uh, Barcelona. We're going into it thinking we're going to play guys similar to us. We believe in the guys that we have, our core group. We believe in our game plan, um, and we're just going to go out like we got nothing to lose. So.
Well, and you've really had that mentality, throughout this whole qualifying run. So you had to beat 3 teams to get here, and I'll go ahead and recap those for those that may not be familiar with your story. You had to play 2 games on the road right off the bat. Well, you had a first round bye, first of all, and then you had to play 2 games, on the road right away. So you played Woodland FC in Kansas City. So St. Louis beats Kansas City, woohoo! And now Woodland FC is now in the Midwest Premier League themselves. Interesting plot twist. They weren't last year. And then you travel to Omaha Street and beat them because it's just a requirement that semi-pro games between St. Louis and Omaha clubs have to be played in Omaha, like ATAR and Lenoma last year. And then, of course, it's a requirement that Union Omaha plays their Open Cup matches against St. Louis clubs in St. Louis because it's the rules. And that's just how this always has to work out. But then, after beating those 2 teams, you came home, played at St. Mary's, hosted Chicago House, and won. So, Alan, I want to talk to you first about that Chicago House match. So this is a Peter Wilt-owned club. They have big backing. They're a former NISA Pro club, and they're a club that has been to the Open Cup dance before. But you had a loud and loyal crowd at St. Mary's when you took on Chicago House, and you beat them. So take me back to November and that experience. What was that day like for you?
oh, it was amazing. Probably my favorite moment by far with our group of guys. I mean, we had so many friends, family at that game, some former players, and just I don't think anybody gave us a chance to like. I felt the vibe was that we should just be happy and content that we get to play Chicago House, and I mean, Peter is, I cannot say, I mean, he's an amazing person. He just oozes class and just an amazing guy. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but some of his other technical staff, um, I would just like to thank them for the comments they made before the game, and I think that gave us all the fuel we needed to push through when the tide wasn't in our favor in the second half. Um, so yeah, no, it was great. I think that it showed that there. I guess there was talk that amateur soccer in St. Louis or in Missouri in general can't compare to Chicago, and we know they have a lot more leagues and teams and all of that. But I mean, we proved them wrong, and I think for the whole game, minus maybe the last 5 minutes, we were better and looked more control. And people talk about preparation, and they made a lot of comments that they would train 4 or 5 days a week. They were watching they were watching our game film of Omaha and Woodland the night before, and the comments about are you sure you're ready to play in a game like this, and do you guys mind if there's champagne spilled on your field after the game? It was just perfect, Chicago attitude, and St. Louis. It was just perfect all the way around.
And
Like,
I have a fun story to just interject real quick on that. So Peter Wilt, I had talked to him the day before the game, and because he had traveled with the team on the bus, and they stayed in just south of 44, and he asked me if I could pick him up the night before to go make a champagne run at a local liquor store. And so I understand he got his champagne. I don't think they were drinking any on the bus ride back. But real quick, Brian, just want to go to you because you scored against Chicago House. So what was that experience like?
Yeah, no, it was fun. I know Peter actually very well. He was there and helped start Madison when I was there, and I played against the house when I was in Chattanooga. So I've got a pretty good relationship with Peter. So Peter, thank you for the champagne. We enjoyed that after the game. So I do appreciate that. But no, it was awesome. I didn't realize how many fans we truly had until I scored and heard the roar of everyone. And yeah, no, it felt amazing, especially looking up and seeing so many faces that I know from either my family, people I play with every day. Yeah, it was a blast.
Jeremy?
So, guys, there might inevitably be someone in our audience tonight watching who's never seen BOHFS play, who don't know what BOHFS is. So, I've got two questions. The first one, Alan, what is a BOHF? Can you tell me that, please?
I mean, it's started as an inside joke amongst a few friends, but basically it's buddies, homies, friends. Um, yeah, nothing, nothing
Okay.
malicious, nothing derogatory, as there were some theories about it. But no, it's just buddies or homies or you know.
Okay. No, that's cool. And then for the guys, the players, if someone has never seen a BOHFS game, how would you describe your style of play to someone who's never seen it?
Paul,
I
you
can
want to
answer
start
that
off?
one. So I would say our style of play is honestly whatever the other team is going to give us. I feel like a lot of the games we play in, we know that we're going to start out being the underdogs. So maybe for the first half, we're sitting in more and kind of just feeling out the game, trying not to give up an early goal. And then that's when we kind of look around and say, okay, I think we're better than this team, and that's when we really start to play with the ball and just kind of get the ball out wide, get it to our big guys up top, and see what can happen. Um, but I think a big focus of ours is, especially for Wednesday, is not going to be to try and chase their game. Um, it's just going to be for us to kind of do our own thing, be okay with defending for periods of time, and then just kind of taking our counterattacks, our corners, our free kicks when we can take them. So.
Well, and you've had some pretty good players go through you even this last year. So James Stone, was your starting 9 last year. He is now playing in England in the non-leagues over there. I think he signed with a 6th-tier, 7th-tier team. I know he had signed with one club, and then he moved. And then Stone Marion was actually on loan to BOHFS from the St. Louis City Academy. He scored a game-winning goal against St. Louis Development Academy, and then City decided, you know what, we're signing him up. We're signing him to a City 2 contract. He's ours. So he got to go out with a bang, literally. Jake, what do you got?
So we are a St. Louis City podcast, and I did want to ask. I saw you guys played the U19s. How did that friendly go?
Can I talk on that one?
Go for it.
Yeah. So, like we said earlier, when we have our core versus adding 4 or 5 different guys, it completely changes things. We ended up losing that game 4-0. It was 1-0 at halftime. It was 1-0 in the 80th minute, and then we gave up 3 soft goals because we get away from what makes us successful. That game reminded me a little bit of when we played STLDA over the summer, where we get we get dragged out. It's like, okay, we can play. We get the ball in their third. We start knocking it. We start moving it. Then we lose it, and then we don't react quick enough to either break the play down or or get goal side, and then we just end up chasing 40, 50 yards back. And when you have several guys that are in their mid 30s, you can only sprint back so many times before you don't have it anymore. So no, it was 4-0. I thought the guys that normally play, like the core group of players, plus a Mateo kid, did really well. But some of the guys that didn't get much playing time or that we tried out didn't really quite fit. Probably because they didn't spend enough time with the team. But but yeah, it was 4-0. It was a good experience, but I think with our full squad, it's a completely different game.
Well, it definitely is. And, talking about how close knit the roster is, Brian and Cole, you guys can, take this one here as well. I mean, you guys all have known each other, for years, even beyond BOHFS. There's a pretty tight knit, ex-pro community, and also just the soccer community in general is very tight. So what does it mean to you guys that you're basically going to roll up against Union Omaha with the same roster more or less that got you here?
I mean, I think we all are kind of on the same page of like, there's a reason we're here. So we gel together. I mean, when we played, we pretty much had our main group when we played against our friendly from the team from Kentucky, and I mean, we're just moving it, creating so many chances and goals and opportunities, and you can just tell that when we have our core group, we have a confidence about us, and I mean, we know that we can do things special because we've done it day in and day out in various leagues.
Yeah, and we have a question from the chat for you, Alen. How did you choose the new additions for next week's match?
Honestly, for me, it was mainly their attitude, and obviously they have to have ability. But there's a guy named Nadim. He's also a local guy. Played at Columbia College. Coaches at Gallagher. Just puts his head down, works hard. Um, has similar sense of humor with the locker room. Just a good guy, fits right in. And the understanding is you're probably not going to start, but you got to be ready because we're probably not fit enough to compete at that level for 90 minutes. And it's just he's all in. He's happy to be part of the team, and he wants to battle it out for the team. Another guy is Jack. Um, Griffiths. He played at Mobep towards the end. He started out at Drury, I believe. Left back, really smooth on the ball, fit. Also, just simple, basic player. Great attitude, and gets along with everybody on the team. Now, there's another 10 guys who've been training, who are have skills and all of that, but it's like we've got cover in certain positions. Like, I mean, I'm probably not going to change the center backs. We're not going to change the goalie. We know that Utley up top probably doesn't have 90 minutes in the tank, so it's like, okay, Nadim is there. Chad or Liam, one of them, probably can't go for 90 minutes, so we have some cover there. And then it's the main thing also was we don't want to disrupt anything. We don't want to bring anybody in that has any kind of ego about him, who's just using this as a pedestal to get to somewhere else. Because, man, I didn't. I mean, ever since that game against Chicago House, once we were in the cup, I'm getting emails, LinkedIn messages, agents, players, coaches that wouldn't give me the time of day 5 months ago, that are offering players, with professional experience and top colleges and all of that. And it's like, yeah, that's all great, and it's amazing to be in those conversations. But I value, the camaraderie that our team has, and how well everybody gets along, how well everybody understands each other. And even after trying out all these different players and friendlies, it just always falls back to, like, okay, so what? Even if we go down swinging, even if we have 3 guys on the bench, I know that these guys want to be here, and they want to battle it out for one another. They want to, put their body on the line for each other. And that's kind of what ultimately made me decide to keep these 2 guys.
Now you say that, but then I'm going to ask, because you talked about getting offers for players and agents were talking to you that wouldn't otherwise talking to you. But
Yep.
you're no stranger to loaning players from St. Louis City. So Aaron Leak in the chat is asking if Josh Yarrow was available for loan for the Open Cup game. Would you take him?
Man, come on now. He's no better than Cole or Jackson. We don't sub the center backs unless they go down. And then we've got Jordan Clips. So sorry, Yarrow.
Oh
He's
man.
prone to make mistakes. We don't want that. No.
I was not expecting Alan to catch a body tonight on this show, but it happened. And as Jerry Hayes said, BOHFS culture can't be broken. But that's so
No.
funny. But I want to talk a little bit about the history of BOHFS real quick. So.
Mhm.
I mean, we got St. Louis Scott Gallagher, Lou Few, St. Louis Development Academy used to be the former Sporting St. Louis, part of the Sporting KC, St. Louis Stars. You have a lot of reputable, more known, academies in this city. BOHFS, on the other hand, you joined the Midwest Premier League just last year, and it was your first foray into that level of soccer. So I want to ask you 2 questions. Number one, what were you doing with BOHFS before then, and what changed that led you to joining the Midwest Premier League?
Do you guys remember St. Louis Maritza of the UPSL not too long ago?
Vaguely.
Okay, so there's a few of us that were on that team. Um, we had a BOHFS team. We had a BOHFS team back then, and we got along really well with the Maritza guys. And the plan was to merge, to do it together. We drew out what each of our roles would be. Lucas Almeida and myself would have kind of ran the team, and the Maritza portion of it just stopped replying and stopped responding. And it was like, okay, we maybe Midwest Premier League will be something down the road, but not right now. So, and then I had a kid. So that was about a year and a half of no action. We played. I mean, we played AFC Colombia. Must have been in 22 under BOHFS. Yeah, it was Carl Hutter's last season actually in Lindenwood. They had a spring season game. The other team canceled. He called me and asked if we could play them. It was like 3 day notice. So I called a few of the guys, Chad, Liam, and a few others, and we played that game. And after it was like 4-3 or 3-3. And after the game, all the guys were like, "Man, why can't we do this more often?" And I was like, "You know what? Maybe we can." And so we just kept the group together, played the Lions reserve team a few times, AFC Colombia, and the goal was to merge with Maritza and then play next season. And obviously that never happened. And then had a kid, had a year of no action, and then my buddy in Spain reached out, and there's a elite U16 tournament. It's an invite only. Barcelona, Real Madrid, a couple national teams. He's like, "Hey, Alan, if you want to join, we can get you in." It's like, "All right, let me ask Scott Gallagher," and Gallagher didn't want to do it. And I was like, "Man, you know what? There's plenty of kids that could benefit from this. Let's just go as boss. We'll go anyway. I don't care if I get in trouble." And we went to that tournament, had a great time, and we get back. It's middle of December, and Zach gives me a call. He's like, "Hey, man, would you guys be willing to join the Midwest Premier League? One of the teams just pulled out." And initially, I was thinking, you know what? There's no chance. I don't have anything ready. I don't have the funds for this. But um, the other side was like, when is the right time for anything? It's like there's an opportunity. You just have to go take it and roll with it. And I was like, you know what, Zach? Put us down. I don't know what we're gonna look like, or what we're gonna have, or what uniforms we'll have, or what players, but let's give it a go. And yeah, so that was in December, and then come February, start talking to a few of the guys, and then by April we had a little tryout, and yeah, and then we got it rolling in May, and
Yeah,
then
and
fast forward a few months, here we are.
yeah,
So
right here playing in the Open Cup, and you had a great season in the Midwest Premier League. You play, of course, Gateway South, which is going to be the Gateway East this coming year because of the volatility of lower league soccer. But you ended up finishing second in the division, behind Atar Belleville, who you actually beat in your first game in the league, 1-0. And I mentioned Atar, Brian, that is your former club. So I love those guys at Atar, for sure. Jeremy, you had a question for the players.
Yeah, I do. So again, we're a St. Louis City SC podcast, and we know the City SC family's gone through a tragic event with the passing of Ilona Leuven. So I wanted to ask, and not directly comparing anything that you guys have gone through in your own careers to what Edu is going through now. I want to preface that the question by saying that. But can you talk about the importance of the support that you get from your teammates when you do go through tough moments, whether it's on the field or in your personal life, and what that support means to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, those are people you normally see day, and especially in the case of Lewin, that he sees every single day. Probably shares multiple meals with them and all that. I had to take a leave of absence from a club just for some personal stuff I was going through as well, down in Chattanooga. And luckily, Jeremy Allenball was in charge down there, and I've known him since the club days. So we have a good relationship, and we talked throughout the whole process of me having to come back home and all that. And honestly, I wouldn't have been able to do it without people like that, the team, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, there's nothing more important than that, because I mean, at the end of the day, they really are your brothers. It's their extended family.
Yeah, absolutely. Cole, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would agree with what Brian said. I don't have anything personally that I can think of. But even just thinking of just what if something were to happen, I know that I would have kind of all those guys to look towards and give me support and all that. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is a team in more ways than one, and that includes supporting everyone. So, I want to kind of focus for the next little bit on you, Brian, and you, Cole, as well. So, I want to go to Brian first. So, I mentioned you played for Atar Belleville before, my friends there, but you also played for Forward Madison. You mentioned earlier you played for both Chattanoogas, and you played for Puerto Rico FC. Puerto Rico FC. They didn't last very long in the NASL, but I want to ask, what was it like playing for Puerto Rico FC?
Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I lived on the beach, and I'm a beach bum who's kind of stuck in the Midwest, especially going there after graduating from Loyola Chicago. It went from I remember I got off the plane. I think it was 40 degrees in Chicago, and I got off the plane. It was 85 in Puerto Rico.
Whew.
So yeah, but it was definitely a cool experience. I would have probably never have thought to ever go down there for anything other than maybe a vacation here or there. But no, I was lucky enough to be there for 2 years. Supporters were incredible, and the food's incredible. And then
I'm
on top
sure.
of that, we were owned by Carmelo Anthony's ownership group. So got
Did you ever
to
get,
kind
did
of
you ever get to meet Carmelo?
I met him on a handful of occasions, and actually my pro debut, he kind of unofficially threw my birthday for me, so that was a blast. We went up to the New York City Puerto Rican Day Parade. We were in the float right behind him as he was the king of the parade. So yeah, no, it was just unbelievable experience down there. I loved the NASL league. It was fun. I wish it would still be going strong, but that's neither here nor there. You could have multiple podcasts on that issue.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was a blast. I enjoyed all my time there, and it was a great way to get my career started.
I imagine you probably had some pretty brutal road trips, though.
That was the worst part. Everything was a long road trip, and I'm usually a couple games at a time, just because I mean you're flying everywhere. I do remember the worst flight was I was not initially on one of the trips, and we were on a road trip, and we had to go to Edmonton, and there was an injury, and so they called me and were like, "We need you to fly to Edmonton tomorrow," and that was about a 19-hour travel day by myself.
Not my favorite. Not my
That
favorite.
was
But
yeah, that was the one downside.
well, in case you just joined us, we're doing a little something different tonight on Red Smoke Rising. We are interviewing BOHFS owner and gaffer Alen Bradaric, as well as players Brian Bement and Cole Gerstenberger before their match in the Open Cup next week against Union Omaha. Tickets are on sale now. And in fact, I will go ahead, if you're watching on YouTube, drop the link for those once again. I want to get to Brian, I want to get to your experience with Union Omaha before, but Alen, you've got some merch for sale. You got the new Open Cup kits, which you can kind of see here if you're watching on YouTube, which are really nice and, in my opinion, are the best kits that have gold featuring a St. Louis team this year. Jeremy's going to disagree with me on that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But then you also have a couple of scarves as well. So you got you got the black and white BOHFS, and then you've got the checkerboard red and blue BOHFS. So how can people get their hands on these or this?
Very, very limited supply of the jerseys left. I mean, lower league soccer, everything is on a budget, and we had to get a few. Just I mean, who wouldn't want one? But I mean, honestly, we can't afford to experiment too much. If you look at those scarves, it's got Epic on one end, and I mean, they've been amazing and offered to buy 80 scarves for us to sell or give out or anything with them. So they're going for $25. If anybody would like one, just send us a DM, Venmo us, and we'll find a way to either mail it to you or drop it off. And again, I mean, any money we raise goes directly into the club. I mean, there's nothing like no one's getting paid on the players. I'm not getting paid. It's all just for the love of the game. We're just trying to stay afloat and keep the party going. And yeah.
And of course, it
Anyway,
goes.
so just DM us, let us know, and we'll find a way to get it to you.
Yep, Jeremy.
So no, and this is actually maybe a question for all three of you. I know we're talking about the Open Cup game coming up on the 18th, and you guys are all members of BOHFS and in some way, whether it's owner, coach, or player. But soccer is a massive game around the world. So I have to ask: are there other clubs that you support or players that you've modeled your game after in your career?
Well, yeah, glory, Man United. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I'm actually an official shareholder of Man United. So I'm a diehard up the Reds.
Go.
Glory. Yeah.
Hey, let's go 20 times. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey,
Disgusting.
Carrick's at the wheel right now, baby.
That's right.
So I got to go with United as my team. As far as players, I would honestly my favorite player within these last 10 years has been Jamie Vardy.
Okay.
I
Cool.
like it.
I've always been a Manchester City fan, so a little bit of a rivalry there between teammates.
And you two get along. Wow.
Is Yarrow still available for a loan?
I'm dead.
Oh no!
Can't do me like that, Alan.
Yarrow catching straight still.
I would never.
Oh my!
Oh,
yeah,
at least he's not a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, you could
Grew up
be
watching
part of-
Hey! We're friends here, okay? I never walk alone. Damn it!
Yeah, you live in the city. No. All right. Sorry, I'll stop.
Okay, so you were saying City players you have modeled your game after or been inspired by.
I'd say a big one for me was Vincent Kompany growing up. Just like he's always been one of my favorite players. His leadership style, his leading by action, and also just like that big physical presence, able to go score a goal off a corner, able to make a huge slide tackle in his own box. Just it's kind of always who I've styled my game off of a little bit.
Yeah, heck of a player. Company was heck of a player back in his day. And Cole, I'll just keep going with you. So, you're one of obviously you're one of the younger players on the roster. Are you still going to college? What's your background in soccer, and what are your goals in soccer?
Yeah, so I played down south at Farmington High School, which was pretty small.
St.
But I've
Francis
been
County?
playing club. Yep, I've been playing club soccer up here since I was probably 10 years old, making that drive to Lufuse. And then I went to McKendree University over in Illinois, a D2 school there. Played for 4 years. And then after that, I went to graduate school, and I'm still in graduate school. So that's kind of stunted any progress that could have really happened. So that's why it's super nice just to play for a team like BOHFS where I can have that going on, but still able to make all the time commitments and everything, and not have to train every single day, but still be able to be a part of a really competitive team as well. So,
Now, are you hoping to follow in like the footsteps of like Brian and some of the more veteran players that used to play pro before?
I don't think so. I just don't think I can go back to training every day, especially with a very busy schedule. I am very content with where I'm at, just playing with a great group of guys, playing some competitive games, playing for fun. So
you're not going to follow Stone Marion to City 2, I guess.
I don't think so, but if they're interested, let me
If
know.
they're,
Then
hey,
maybe.
yeah, if anyone from St. Louis City is watching, I mean, it sounds like Cole might not have a job with BOHFS much longer. He might be getting loaned out to ATAR, so
Yep.
he might be
Yep.
available. Just Brian, I want to get to you. So we were talking about you've played a lot of soccer in your time, and you actually, this is not your first dance with Union Omaha. I believe you've played them before, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I've gotten to play them a couple times. I will say though, the most recent time I did play them, I was with Chattanooga Red Wolves, and we knocked them out of playoffs.
Nice.
So the last match so far has been a positive one. But obviously they're a good side of won a couple league titles and have gone their Open Cup runs. But yeah, no, it is fun to have a little bit of familiarity against the team, and just know playing guys from the past.
So I guess I was talking with Cole about his goals in soccer and where he hopes to go from here. I guess I ask you, Brian, since you're in your 30s, what keeps you going in this stage of your career? What keeps you suiting up and playing?
I just love it. I retired kind of not on my terms. I had some injuries that kind of forced me away, and then have since been kind of getting back into it in a more competitive kind of feel of things. My physically, I was like my body. I planned on playing professionally until I was about 35, which would have been another 3 years from now. So physically, I feel like I feel good. And so yeah, I just love it. It's one of these sports that I mean I'll be playing literally till the wheels fall off, and then still probably figuring out a way to play. But yeah, any opportunity to still compete at a level like the Open Cup, I mean, I just can't ever pass that up.
So, Brian, Cole, either one of you can answer, or you both can. While you guys may be at different points in your careers, guys that are now going to be playing at this level, or at least on a nationally broadcast stage, what's the value to you guys in that? You guys, there may be players who might be trying to take that next step. Like, can you speak to the importance and value in that part of this as well?
It's massive. Open Cup, it's every team in the United States. So all these teams are watching. I've been on multiple clubs that sign guys straight from the Open Cup or their summer league. And so, yeah, I mean, literally every team is watching. So if you have a breakout moment, you never know what could happen as far as your career. So for the young guys, I've told a couple of them that I was like, if you're looking to play, this is your opportunity to showcase your game in front of a lot of eyes.
Well, and I was going to ask you as well. I mean, because again, you get like players like Stone Marion that come in, and again, Alen, and BOHFS, they do run an academy, so you get younger players that play alongside veterans like you. Is that something you particularly enjoy? Is playing with the younger players and kind of showing them the ropes and kind of guiding them along?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in my career, I do a lot of private individual coaching sessions as my job, and so it's something that I've kind of fallen into. And I mean, I like seeing them succeed. I mean, obviously on our team, if they succeed, I succeed, so it's a win-win. But even going forward, it's just awesome to see people that I know and play with moving on to higher and higher places, especially from the St. Louis area. I love being able to turn on the TV and be like, hell yeah, that team's got 3 guys from St. Louis on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cole, you get to play, with a lot of veterans as well. So, how much has it benefited you playing alongside players like Brian, Adam Knight, Chad Bond, Liam Collins, those guys?
Yeah, it's huge, especially just to get a different perspective of whether it be tactics or goals of what we're trying to do. Those are some guys that have played some really high levels of soccer, whether that be 2 years ago or 10 years ago. Um, so it's just been amazing to kind of just play with those guys and be able to learn a lot from them. And also just be friends and be on the same team trying to achieve the same goals. So yeah, it's been really cool.
So, guys, we just got done listening to you talk a little bit about this being a showcase moment for some of the younger guys, right? The chance for them to get that exposure. What's the message, though, to say this is your moment, but remain focused and playing within yourself? How do you as players balance that kind of mentality?
I mean, I think this kind of the same way that we have been. We've got a good balance of guys who have played at a top level and guys who are young and played in front of a lot of fans, even in like high college level games or whatever it may be. But I mean, there's been a wide variety of players, and I think it's got the kind of balance that even if you have a young player who may start get frazzled, I mean, you've got a guy like Chad who can put his arm around him and calm him down and explain, hey, this is no different than another game. And yeah, I think that is kind of how we're going to have to lean into things, is just using everybody.
Well, we are going to ask you two, Cole and Brian, 10 rapid fire questions. We're gonna ask a few about you and your team, and then your teammates. So, first question: biggest prankster on BOHFS? Who you got?
Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Yeah,
Cole, you agree?
Liam Sapper, the goalie.
Sap.
Yeah.
Well, goalies are a little mental, right?
Guy's a crazy guy.
I actually got I got the carpool with Gibbs on the way to Woodland, and I can verify he's a character. Who has the worst taste in clothes? Anyone that you look at and just like, why are you wearing that?
That's a tough one.
Maybe it'd be easier. Who has the best taste in clothes?
I'd say probably Chad Bond.
Definitely Chad.
Yeah.
That's Mr. HQ or GQ.
Yeah, I would say worst sense. I would have to go Mike Utley. I love the guy, but he's always wearing gym shorts and a shirt, and I think he's actually worn a hoodie under his jersey.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, that's criminal.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I will warn you, if you do buy one of these BOHFS jerseys, you'll want to order a size or two up. So, like, I can't imagine it was one of these. That'd be very snug. Next one. Who would win in a skill competition? Like who's got the best techers?
Liam Collins.
Yeah.
Liam Collins, one of your veterans.
Yeah.
Just does some stuff that you've never seen before.
Yeah, he can put the ball anywhere he wants.
Yep. Well, we got some foodie questions for you now. So this is on behalf of No Goal Patrol, one of our supporters groups and our friends. How do you like your buffalo wings? Do you like flats or drums? Or are you equal opportunity?
I'm a pretty equal. I like to I like to eat them in different situations, like if I'm doing something and I have a hand free, I'm going drum. If I'm sitting there and I'm just pigging out, I'm flats.
That's fair. Cole?
You know what I mean? Like,
I think
it's all about
pretty equal.
You can drumstick one-handed, have your beer in the other hand, and then you have to really lock in on the flats.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
You might be making. Say you're making a case for drums over there. But what was Cole saying?
I'm pretty equal as well. If I had to pick one, I'd probably take drums. Just a little easier.
You know what, Alan? Your players are being very diplomatic. Settle this: drums or flats?
As long as there's some ranch, it's all good. I don't discriminate.
Well, I'm guessing you're probably not getting that from Woodland FC, though. They forgot the pizza last time. And speaking of food, so favorite St. Louis food? Are you a fan of the emo style pizza, T-Ravs, gooey butter cake? What is, if you're welcoming someone into St. Louis from out of town and you want them to experience St. Louis cuisine, what are you giving them?
First thing I'm doing is T-Ravs, and then I'm making sure they have gooey butter cake.
Oh, yeah.
Smart. Cole?
I think I'm gonna go with the pizza.
Really?
Provel is something you can't really get anywhere else. I think that's a staple.
So is it Emo's or some other place that's doing Provel?
Emo's is good. Joey B's on the hill, they do a good Provel pizza. So yeah, just a couple to mention.
Well, I will say I hung out with Chicago House a little bit. They played Bizloka Chicago on the way to playing you guys. And I definitely heard some slander towards St. Louis style pizza because they're all about the tavern style pizza up there. So if nothing else, I'm glad you shut them up over that. Favorite stadium that you have played in? I guess this would be more for Brian, I guess. Or Cole, you can answer as well. But Brian, favorite stadium you've played at?
I loved playing at Tampa Rowdies.
Al Lang, I love that place.
Al Lang. And it's got a Cardinal tie, so it's even better.
Yep, former spring training home.
Sits right there on the water. They have a good group of supporters. Yeah, that might have been my favorite to play.
Yeah, really good group of supporters. I saw them this weekend in Sarasota. They went and lent their support to AC Boise, who were playing Sarasota Paradise, and it was hilarious. But yeah, there's something charming about Al Lang Stadium. It's really hard to kind of explain, but that's a good example of how that in Forward Madison, how you can convert old baseball stadiums into good soccer pitches. Cole, have you any favorite venues that you've played at?
Honestly, not even because we're playing there coming up, but I would say probably Lindenwood.
Okay.
Played there a couple times when I was at McKendree, and it's just a really, really cool stadium. So,
and it's a great venue for the game coming up next week. And there's been some Open Cup magic there in the past before, courtesy of St. Louis FC. But now, favorite stadium that you've been to as a fan?
That's tough.
got to go City Park.
City Park? That's a great answer.
Honestly, it's hard to beat it. I haven't been able to get to any real games outside of the States, soccer-wise. So yeah, I might have to go City Park.
City Park. You can't go wrong with that. Absolutely. Now, for both of you, if there's one thing you could do differently about your career at this point, what would that be? If you look back at like Brian, like you look back at your journey, was there ever like a crossroads moment where it was like, I should have done that differently?
Yeah. I mean, I battled with injuries, and I think a big part of that was me being a little hard-headed and wanting to just play through them without really saying a whole lot, which caused them to be worse. And so, yeah, I think now I look back, and I mean, I'm coming back from an injury, honestly, right now. I did my MCL this winter. And so I'm like, but I took way more time than I did any of my injuries that were in the past. Granted, I'm older now, but I think I tried to play through some stuff that I probably shouldn't have, and kind of cost me a few years of my career. But it is what it is at this point. I'm still getting to play.
Fair. Anything for you, Cole, at this point? I mean, I know your career is a lot less trodden than Brian's.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything that I would change. I haven't really had any injury issues ever, and yeah, I don't think I'd change anything.
All right, and final question. This is the most important one: Ronaldo or Messi?
Ronaldo.
You did the Ronaldo celly, and that Cole. I expected that one from you, Brian. What about you, Cole?
I'm also a huge Ronaldo guy.
Okay, two Ronaldos. All righty. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. Next week, Wednesday, March 18th, Union Omaha for the history of St. Louis soccer behind you and St. Louis Open Cup history behind you as well. Hope you guys really put on a good showing. And any final thoughts, Brian?
I'm just excited. All the St. Louisans, everyone that likes to hype up our St. Louis Open Cup history. See you there. This is another chance to witness history, and let's pack out Lindenwood. Let's make it like you guys did for St. Louis FC.
Absolutely. Cole, any final thoughts?
Yeah, same thing. Come support us out at Lindenwood on Wednesday.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and drop the link in the chat one more time, and I'll also put it into the podcast notes as well. Definitely support your local club. Check them out. And we want to thank Alen as well. He had to duck out a little bit ago. And Jake, any final thoughts or any final questions?
Yeah, I can't wait to go to the game on Wednesday and support you guys. I was there at the Woodland game, and that was really fun. You guys played well, and yeah, I can't wait to go watch you guys again.
Jeremy?
No, but so again, thank you all for taking the time out to come on and talk to us tonight, previewing the match, and more than anything, up the BOHFS.
Yeah.
Up the
Boy,
BOHFS.
Buffs.
Up the ball. So that's what I love about this community is that like even like all the other clubs that are in your league in the Midwest Premier League are like backing you guys, and like I know the ATAR guys are going to be out there, and I know the Gateway Football Group guys are going to be out there as well. That is our new club that we are starting in 2027, and if you want to see our name and crest revealed, if we can pop that up on the screen, you can join us at Pat Connolly Tavern this Friday, March 13th. And it is a members only event. So to be a member, you can just scan the QR code on the screen or go to gatewayfootballgroup.org and click on the membership page. And you get a really nice scarf out of it, which Jeremy and Jake, you guys will have your hands on Thursday, actually, because we'll be at the St. Louis Hall of Fame dinner. So very important week for local soccer. And, of course, if you can attend, that would be great. Alen, any final thoughts before your game next week before we wrap up?
It would mean the world to us if you can come out, bring a friend. I mean, this is a really unique opportunity, and we just want to enjoy the experience with everybody. We won't be scared to whip the ball into the box when we get it in the attacking third, like City this past weekend. And we're just going to get stuck in, and no matter what happens, will happen.
So are you loaning Brian to City to fix the striker woes? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Anything they need from us, we're here.
Where were you when Pedro was available? Like, come on.
Man, that I don't know how he got a contract in City, but I'm happy he.
Man, now Jake's catching a body. Pedro was his favorite.
Come on, man. No,
Look,
I don't want to hate. He's a fellow Bosnian, but I mean, man, like some of these guys that we bring in the City, you got to think like, surely you can find the equivalent in some regional college around the Midwest. Sorry, I had to put that out there. But no, I mean, like if we're gonna bring somebody in, I think it's got to be somebody that's like a proven game changer or something, like, because this isn't working.
Yep. So basically what you're saying is less Pedros and more Gerstenbergers. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Cole, Jackson, Jermaine back there. I mean, if Chad could get a new back, he could probably still be out there.
Well, when you get old, these things happen.
That's right. No, I mean, honestly, like half of our team has season tickets. We all try to go. Like we're huge fans of City, of MLS, and just like listening to you guys talk about him earlier. I mean, it hurts us. Like we all want no matter what team from St. Louis to be as successful as possible, and we're all fans no matter what, and we'll support the team no matter what. But like if we could sign Benzema over the summer, maybe somebody from the Saudi leagues, that would be amazing.
Firmino.
Yeah, why not?
Lutz, help us out there. All righty, guys. Well, best of luck next week. Thank you to Pat Connolly Tavern for supporting this show. They're at the corner of Oakland and Tam in beautiful Dogtown, a St. Louis institution since 1942. And I'm your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin.
Sorry, I was just gonna add one thing. I saw a couple comments about merch for next week. Lindenwood won't allow us to sell anything at the university. So like if anybody is interested in anything, just send us a DM or I mean, let
Is that Alan? Is that going to be on Instagram or what site? What way?
Instagram, Twitter. I would put my number out here, but somebody might abuse it. But yeah, just let us know. Let Brian know. Message some of the guys. We'll figure out a way to get you what you need.
Well, I will warn you, if you put your number out there, I am friends with Union Omaha supporters, and the day of the game or the morning of the game, they're just going to ring your phone off the hook.
Hey, just tell them I know what hotel they're staying at, and I know where they're coming to have their pregame practice. And they asked me if they could borrow some balls. We can make some adjustments.
Well,
We can play. Hey.
We'll talk off the air about that hotel location, so I know where to go for the pots and pans at 3:00 in the morning.
No, we'll welcome all of them with open arms. I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity for us. I mean, who knows? Maybe Cole has the game of his life and shows that he's better than their center back. Maybe he gets an opportunity. You never know, right?
Exactly. I mean, of course, Cole, you're 6'5", so like, you go soaring up there for a header on a corner kick. I mean, someone's bound to notice that.
Yeah.
All righty, guys. Best of luck next week. And I'm your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin.
I'm Jeremy Clements.
I'm Jake Henry.
And this has been a special edition of Red Smoke Rising. And remember, up the BOHFS.